Hello, and welcome back to yet another video. This is the 22nd episode of a story in which 10-year-old Naruto meets Minato from future and that turns Naruto's life upside down. As Naruto lives a happy life in which he is trained by Minato and later Kushina too. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To begin, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the party started.
The Hyuga elders were having a secret meeting, taking advantage of Hayashi's absence. "So, it's decided," said one of them. "Yes, at the end we will be doing the best for the clan," said Lady Miho. "It doesn't matter if Hayashi told us to forget about it and all the jonins from the clan supporting him. We have been discussing a lot about it and we came to that conclusion. This is the best moment to proceed with the next phase now that Hayashi is absent training Neji and with most the clan's jonins away on missions. We will continue with the original plan. Hinata Hyuga has to break her relationship with Naruto Uzumaki. With Minato, Naruto father and son have been expending the last week testing the seals and jutsus that Naruto created after the mission to Snow Country. Minato was really impressed by his son's progress. Minato reminded about his first days training Naruto just after his return. His child was no longer a barely trained academy student but a full-fledged ninja, able to fight more experienced and older ones. Now that I think about it, after our travel to Suna almost 2 years ago, Naruto trained mainly with Jiraiya, Kushina and later with Hayate-san. My role in his training was limited to teach him some jutsus and seals. I'm not really aware about how strong he really is, he thought. "What's going on, Dad? You look pensive. It's something bothering you?" asked Naruto. "It's nothing," responded Minato. "I was just thinking about how strong you became since your academy days. If you keep this rate you would be able to take missions with the Hand of Death in 3 years." "Really?" asked Naruto. "Yes, but it could be sooner or later. I'm not very sure about how strong you really are in both skill and tactics. That's something that we will see at the exams," said Minato. "Why don't you test me with a fight right now? I'm talking about a real fight, none of us holding back. That way we would know how my real strength and the best kind of training we could do before the exams," said Naruto. "Are you sure about it, Naruto? You are a ninja who shows his best on the worst situations, able to turn the tables in the last second and all, but I'm Kage level and I'm not going to underestimate you. I will take you seriously since the beginning," said Minato. "That's exactly what I want, Dad. I want to see how much more I have to work until I catch you and be ready to be Hokage," said Naruto with a serious face. "All right, I will fight you without holding back. My only restraint will be a certain technique." "Are you ready?" said Minato while he took a fighting pose. "Yes, I am," responded Naruto. "I have a date with Hinata-chan this night. I can wait to tell her how I kiss." Naruto couldn't end the phrase. His father materialized before him and sent him flying with a kick. With Hinata, the Hyuga girl was ecstatic. She finally mastered the Shugohaku Rokuge, Yan sh. Protection of the 8 trigrams 64 palms, a technique created by the Hinata of the alternate future. Hayate-sensei said that the technique was comparable with the Kaiten and remarked that the act of recreating such a powerful technique with only brief descriptions from the time travelers was also considerable feat, so he told Hinata that she could go home earlier so she would have more time to prepare her date with Naruto. She earned it. Things changed a lot for Hinata during the last 2 years. She was no longer considered a failure by her clan. Her family now saw her as a worthy heiress. Neji was no longer embittered due to the incident with Kumo years ago and treated her as his younger sister. Her father and the elders no longer looked at her with disdain but with pride. Hanabi was behaving like a child her age and the breach between the main and the branch houses was thicker than ever. When she arrived home she was greeted by the branch member whose wife and daughter she saved during childbirth. "Welcome back home, Hinata-sama. How was your training?" he asked. "It was satisfactory, Yoshi-kun." "How are Shizuka-san and Mocha-chan?" asked Hinata. "Shizuka-chan is pregnant again and Mocha-chan babbled her first words last week. If you didn't help them probably it would have never happened. We are forever indebted with you, Hinata-sama," he said. "Please Yoshi-kun, you are not indebted with me," I did what I had to do, she said. On her way towards her room she passed by the state's dojo, where some of the younger kids, including Hanabi, were practicing Juken katas. A pair of them were using the water variant of Juken that she began to use after finding out her affinity. After finding out that her affinity was one of the reasons Hinata was not as good with the traditional Juken-style Hayashi decided to test the affinities of all those Hyugas who didn't know it yet. The majority had Earth, as most Hyugas and those who had different affinities than Earth were precisely those who performed Juken the worst. After finding it out, Hayashi ordered to make a research about the fighting styles developed by notable elemental users and how to apply their fundaments to Juken as Hinata did with the water fighting style scrolls she received from Minato. Hinata herself helped those who also had water affinity. "Hinata-sama, I finally managed to perform that move," said one of the kids. "You were right, I just had to let the chakra flow freely and not think about the result. I'm very glad, Hiroshi-kun. I have no doubt that you will catch up your siblings in no time," she said. "It was because of you, Hinata-sama, I feel more comfortable with your Juken variant," he said. Hinata noticed the sad look on Hanabi's eyes. Her little sister couldn't learn her water-based Juken variation because Hanabi happened to have Earth affinity as most Hyugas. Some days ago Hinata had a chat with her explaining that it was better for Hanabi to have Earth affinity because the new style was still new and not completely developed, unlike the traditional one, but as was usual for most little children, they valued more what they didn't have than what they have. Hinata noticed Ko approaching her. "Hinata-sama, the elders want to talk with you about an important matter, you have an hour to prepare yourself," he said. She nodded and left the room. "I wonder what do they want? I hope that it wouldn't take too much time, I don't want to be late for my date," she thought while on the bathtub. With Minato and Naruto, the ex-Kage looked at the wound on his arm and then at Naruto's unconscious form. His son proved to be stronger than he could ever imagined. As Minato said, he didn't restrain himself with the only exception of not using the Hiraishin. Most ninjas, including Jonins, wouldn't have been able to hurt him, but Naruto did. However, one thing was to be able to hurt an opponent and another was to defeat him, as the wounds on Naruto's body proved. The fight was most time on Minato's side. One could say that the wound that Naruto managed to inflict on him was a stroke of luck, but it wasn't. If Minato was Hokage and had some qualified ninjas as witnesses of the fight, he would have promoted Naruto right then, but he knew that Naruto would have refused said promotion because it would have meant to abandon his teammates for the exams. "You don't cease to amaze me, Naruto. I never imagined that you would have come with that technique. I can't wait to see everyone's faces at the time you use it on the exams," he thought while he examined Naruto and began to apply the first aid procedures. "Wait, didn't he tell me that he had a date with Hinata?" Hyuga compound Hinata was dressed in a formal kimono before the elders. "Good evening, honorable elders, why do you request my presence here?" she asked. "We wanted to congratulate you for your performance during the Chunin exams. We just found out that your team beat the latest record, reaching the tower. Once again you proved the superiority of the Hyuga clan. We are very proud of you," said Lady Miho. "My team reached the tower first because we combined our abilities. It was not my entire responsibility," said Hinata. "But they wouldn't have made it in such short amount of time with someone else, wouldn't they?" pointed an elder. "Well, I don't know." "Never mind," interrupted Miho. "Hinata, the reason we called you here is not to congratulate you but to tell you about the next part of your mission." "Mission?" asked Hinata. "Yes, the mission to seduce Uzumaki Naruto and make him join our clan. I must confess that I was not very sure that you would manage to make it, but you surprised us, turning him in a very devout boyfriend. It will make things easier to make him sign the document," said an elder. "Document? What document are you talking about? Wasn't the mission supposed to be nullified?" asked Hinata. "No, the mission is still working, your father approved it," lied the elder. "That document is a key part for the next part." You will break your relationship with Naruto Uzumaki with the argument that the public knowledge of his Jinchuriki status turned you into a target due to your relationship with him, and for that reason they can't allow you two to be together unless he proves that he really wants to take a real compromise with you and not a teenage courtship. That's the document for. By signing it he would renounce to his family name and join the Hyuga clan as your fiancé. Hinata was speechless. So that's why they wanted me to make Naruto fall in love with me. They want me to blackmail him with his love for me to force him to join the clan, she thought. The girl began to experiment an emotion that until that day was almost completely alien to her. Rage, pure rage. Getting up, she took the piece of paper and tore it to pieces. I refuse. I won't leave Naruto. You have no right to order me to do that. My father would never allow such devious thing. Obviously you are doing this behind his back, she exclaimed. The elders got up and began to surround Hinata. She got into a fighting stance. Hinata-san, we are doing this for the clan's sake. At the end it would be the best for everybody. You will have Naruto at your side, and with our support he will have little problem to become. Everybody wins, reasoned Lady Miho. You are lying. I doubt that you wouldn't stop that blackmailing after he joins the clan. You would try to make Naruto a puppet Hokage, don't you? Pointed Hinata. The door opened and Ko showed his head. I'm sorry for interrupting the meeting, but Uzumaki-sama is at the hall. He said that he wants to talk with Lady Hinata, said a bit nervous. Hinata saw a chance, passed by Ko and got out from the room. Damn it! Don't let her escape, exclaimed an elder. They chased after her. Hinata managed to avoid everyone on her way towards the hall. It was harder than it seemed to move in that kimono, and the elders were faster than she imagined. She finally reached the hall, just when the elders managed to caught her. Naruto. The elders want me to break with you in order to force you to join the clan. Please, escape. I don't know what they would do now that I told you, she exclaimed while the elders tried to silence her. Two things happened. 1. They found out that the Uzumaki who came there was not Naruto, it was his father. 2. Just at that time Hayashi and Niji returned home, just in time to hear everything. Nobody said anything for several seconds. And then the killing intent came, something that was not felt at Konoha since that incident when some traitors tried to sell Naruto to the enemy, and ended with his father slaying them all in a horrible fashion and taking some council members after that. I came here to tell Hinata that Naruto wouldn't be able to take her on a date because he was hurt during training, and I found out that our supposed allied clan has been conspiring against us, he said. Without any word, he headed towards the door, ignoring Hayashi and Niji. Erasure, wait, exclaimed Hayashi while he grabbed his shoulder. Minato pushed away Hayashi's hand. My name is Minato, he said while removing his mask and shocking the elders in the process. He is the yondaime. Has he been alive all this time? We are screwed. Minato looked at everyone with pure hate. I will be back tomorrow to end this, don't try to escape, he said while he disappeared in a yellow flash. Hayashi stared at the elders with an angry look. Everyone, come with me, you have some explaining to do, said while releasing his own killing intent. The elders didn't know who was scarier, the yondaime or their clan head. Later that night Naruto woke up in a strange fur carpet. He noticed that he was completely bandaged and on his pajamas, including the hippo cap. Ouch, my body hurts everywhere. Dad didn't joke when he said that he wouldn't hold back, he must be the one who bandaged me. Where I am? This is not Konoha's hospital and definitely I'm not home, he thought. He got up and began to walk towards what seemed to be a small hill, also covered by the strange red fur. On the top of the small hill he sat up between two long prominences that reminded him of a rabbit's ears. It's been a long time since the last time we met, Kurama. I never imagined that we could talk with each other while still sealed, said an ominous voice. Naruto looked at the source of the voice and his heart stopped. Before him there was a gigantic red ape with horns and 4 tails that identified him as one of the Bijou. The Yonbi. Why is it free? And who's that Kurama he is talking about, thought Naruto while he got on guard. Kurama? I didn't hear that name in ages. Why are you and the others here, Son Goku? Said a voice coming from the hairy hill where Naruto was. What the? It's the Kyuubi. I'm standing on him, realized Naruto. He also realized that there were more Bijuu present, the Nibi, the Gobi, the Nanabi, and one he didn't want to see again, the Ichibi, also known as Shikaku. How can this be possible? It must be due to having so many Bijuu near each other. Now that I think about it, if I'm on my pajamas it must mean that this is a shared dream and the Bijuu are actually still sealed, thought with a relief. Did age affect you, Kurama? You know that all Bijuus share a link that gets stronger when the more of us are near each other, said the Shikaku. I know that perfectly, you weakling. What I'm asking is why are you bothering me, responded the Kyuubi. They called the Kyuubi Kurama, thought Naruto. Oh come on, Kurama, said the Nibi. I think that this is a great chance to talk among ourselves after all those years, and what do we have to talk about, Matatabi? About how boring were the years while we were sealed and how we got sealed again after we managed to get free. My current host has been incredibly annoying since he met Gyuki's host. He has been visiting me on a weekly basis trying to befriend me, like I would turn into a lapdog as the 8 tails. But that's not the worst part. His father, the cretin who sealed me, managed to come back from the dead and later brought back his annoying wife, who happens to be my former host, said the Kyuubi. Hey! Don't insult my family, you oversized fur carpet, exclaimed Naruto. What was that? Asked the Gobi. Kurama, you have something on your head, pointed the Nanabi. Naruto paled. All the Bijuu's eyes, minus the Kyuubi's, were focused on him. Before he could do something, a clawed hand grabbed him and found the Kyuubi's red eyes before him. Look who woke up. This is a private meeting, brat. If that seal of yours didn't prevent it, it would eat you alive right now, said the fox. So this is the host who has been bothering you? He is really small, unlike mine, pointed the Gobi. I bet that he is not annoying as this one, Kokuo, said Kurama while he showed Naruto to the other Bijuus. Why are you so familiar? Asked Shikaku. Hey, now I remember you. You are the bastard who almost blew up my balls the last time I managed to get out. I going to eat you alive. Did he hit you in the ball? Wah, ha, ha, laughed Kyuubi. Shut up and give him to me. I will give him a lesson, exclaimed Shikaku while he tried to grab Naruto. Sorry but I can't let you kill him, said Kyuubi putting Naruto away. Who's making so much noise? Asked a familiar voice coming from Shikaku's head. It sounds like Gaara, thought Naruto. What do you want, Nibi? I was sleeping, said a female voice. Is it already morning? Asked another voice, coming from top of the Yonbi's head. Where I am? This is not the hotel, commented another one, coming from the Gobi's back. I am having another dream with the stupid bug, said a voice from the Nanabis. Naruto and the Bijuus noticed that each beast had its own Jinchuriki with it. Hey Gaara, it's nice to see you. Same goes for you too, said Naruto to the other Jinchurikis. Naruto? Why are you in my dream? Asked Gaara. It looks like the proximity let the Bijuus communicate with each other and they brought us with them, explained Naruto. This is the strangest dream I ever had, thought Han while he ignored Naruto and Gaara's conversation and opened a compartment on his armor and took a recent cooked pie. So that's the purpose of the compartment. It is a steam oven that he uses to cook food, realized Rashi. Coming to Konoha was turning into a more instructive mission than he could have imagined. Hayashi woke up with a stern face, got up from the futon, and dressed himself up, making sure to not wake up Kyoko. It was not that Hizashi's widow and him were lovers, it was just that they both found out that they had primary needs that they could satisfy with occasional sex without any compromise. He couldn't help but to feel a bit guilty after one of those encounters. Kyoko was his sister-in-law by duplicate, 1 for marrying Hisashi and 2 for him marrying her sister. It shouldn't matter due to his brother and his wife being dead, their marriages were now officially over, they were single again but his feeling of cheating them was still there. The sounds coming from the futon told him that Kyoko woke up. He looked at other way while she got dressed. "What time is it?" she asked. "It's 7:45 a.m., the clan meeting is at 8:30, get out from the room some minutes after me, make sure that nobody sees you," he said while he left without looking. Kyoko sighed in frustration at Hayashi's behavior. She knew the reason of that attitude, that he felt guilty for what they did, but it didn't mean that she had to like it. Later, almost all the Hyuga clan was in the room they prepared for the meeting: men, women, children, old people, ninja and civilians, all from both branches of the clan. The only ones who were not there were those who were in missions and couldn't return immediately when they sent messages to make them come back to compound. Hanabi didn't know what was happening, but she was sure that it was something really. The clan as a whole only reunited like that in special events, the last time when Hinata-ne-chan and Niji-ni-san became ninjas and got those special awards. But this is not a meeting for a celebration. Something bad happened. Hinata-ne-chan looks very sad and Niji-ni-san looks like he is eating sour almonds, she thought. "Oba-san, what's the meeting for? Did something bad happen?" she asked. Kyoko decided to be sincere with her niece. "Yes, something very bad happened. Your father will explain it," she said. "It is related to what Tu-san did to the elders? Is the clan going to punish him?" she asked, showing a little fear. "No, my dear, your father did the right to them, the problem is about what they did and forced your father to put them in their place," she said. The last day, after Hayashi found out that the elders decided to keep up with the plan, he took them to the dojo with some witnesses and challenged them to a duel for the complete leadership of the Hyuga clan. At first they were a bit reluctant to fight him until he told them that he would be fighting them all at the same time. They had no chance. Although they were retired jonins and never abandoned their daily training, they were, as their name said, elders. And Hayashi was not a mere jonin, he was a veteran ninja in his prime, still young and with almost 3 decades of experience and member of the Hand of Death, the strongest Hyuga alive. It was not a surprise that he won. After the fight he took them one by one and put the caged bird seal on them for the crime of usurping the clan head's leadership and probably turning one of the clan's strongest allies into a terrifying foe. Hayashi explained all that to the clan members reunited there. He also told them about the nonsensic plan and how he decided to put a veto on it with the jonin support. He then proceeded to tell them about the elders. From now the elders will be stripped of their elder status and will be considered the branch house personal servants. All main house members are obliged to support this measure, including the use of the seal if required, he said. Everyone looked at him like he grew a second head. In the Hyuga clan the word servant was almost considered taboo because it reminded the branch house their status as second-class Hyugas, and the main house had enough decorum to not remind them of that. Now Hayashi just created a third branch and labeled them as servants. Some of them sent glances to the elders, who were at a corner, he seals on their foreheads clearly visible. To their credit, they managed to keep their usual stoic faces, still with their heads high. They got up and sat themselves before the reunited clan. Lady Miho spoke. "We, the former honorably elders, accept our new position within the Hyuga clan. We realized too late that we overstepped our bounds and ignored the decision made by the clan head and the jonins, and now due to that we lost some of our strongest allies who now may be our worst nightmare. We are very sorry. The only thing that we could say on our defense is that we thought that it was the best for the clan," she said. They looked at Hinata and kneeled before her. "Lady Hinata, there is no way we can excuse ourselves to what we did to you. We had no right to interfere with your relationship with Naruto-san and now it may be lost forever. Sorry," she said. Hinata got up. She was wearing a lavender kimono with bamboo motifs. She looked calm and serene. Nobody would have guessed that she spent crying most the night. "Your apologies are accepted. I won't try to take any kind of revenge on you, however it doesn't mean that I will forget what you did to Naruto's family or me. Minato-sama gave us his friendship, shared with us the finished version of jutsu that he created with Hisashi Aji-san and even named after him, although he could have claimed the complete authority of the jutsu and nobody would have noticed. Then he gave me the tips to personalize my juken that, with Naruto's undying support, made me stronger. Later Minato-sama gifted us with one of the few ofudas of health in existence, the reason nobody in the clan got ill since then. After that, he got Two-san into the hand of death and helped him to become stronger, improving the prestige of the Hyuga clan even more. After that, Naruto not only convinced Tsunade-sama to come back to Konoha, but recommended me to be one of her disciples, and later, when Kushina-sama got back, she received me with open and even gifted me with a kimono that could be considered a family heirloom, she said. Nobody dared to question Hinata's words. She was completely right. The Uzumaki family was the best thing that happened to Hyuga clan during the last generation. No other clan in Konoha showed such friendship to the Hyugas during all the time they were part of it. Hinata continued talking. During all that time my crush on Naruto evolved into love and turned into love, and, for my happiness, he developed similar feelings for me, feeling sincere to the point that he let the Mizukage's agents capture him so I could escape, feeling strong to the point that they let him resist the Kyuubi's influence at Snow Country. How does the Hyuga clan pay Naruto and his family for all they did to us? We backstabbed them, trying to use Naruto's feelings for me to turn him into breeding stock to improve the clan and have a grasp over his parents. I never was so ashamed of being a Hyuga. Now if you excuse me, I want to be alone, she said while she left the room. Everybody was speechless. Some of them were surprised and proud to see how much their heiress matured, others were angry at the ex-elders for what they did to their allies, a group was thinking about a way to make amends with the Uzumakis. One person noticed something amiss on Hinata's rant. Ah no. Why did Nei-chan called Naruto-kun's father Minato? Wasn't his name Erasure? Asked Hanabi. Most Hyugas interrupted their talks and looked at the little girl. Perhaps Hinata-sama had a mistake while she was talking, said a branch member. No, she hadn't, said Hayashi. His true is Minato Uzumaki Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage. Hayashi proceeded to tell the clan the truth about the Uzumaki patriarch. He didn't tell them that Minato was also a time traveler, just that his resurrection involved a deal with the god of death, the same version of Minato's return that the Hokage said to Konoha's Jonins after Shikaku asked Minato if he was really the Yondaime. The reactions from the Hyugas were even worse than the one from Konoha's Jonins, but not surprising considering that they could be the target of his wrath. Is there a way we could convince him that it was a decision from the elders made against the clan's wishes? Asked Ko. I just sent a messenger with a letter with apologies and telling the truth. He should be back soon, said Hayashi. Just at that moment a branch member with a defeated look got into the room. How it was, Yoshi? What did they say? Asked Hayashi. Yoshi handed Hayashi a closed letter and a box. Why Yondaime-sama refused to read the letter, told me to give you the box and that he will come here in an hour to get something from us, and warned me that if we dared to oppose him he would treat us as enemies, he said. Hayashi opened the box. Inside it there was a wakizashi he gave Minato as a symbol of friendship between the clans. To receive it back meant that said friendship was declared over by Minato's part. After looking at it for a few seconds Hayashi got up and looked at his clan members and spoke. All those who are not capable of fighting will stay here, those able to fight will be distributed all over the compound with a small contingent staying here, he said. The fighters nodded and left the room. Can't we ask the Hokage for help? Minato-sama is still a Konoha ninja, one of his subordinates, said an old man. No, it would be pointless. Minato is Lord Jiraiya's prized student, Naruto's godfather, and we are the ones at fault here, responded Hayashi. What about the other clans? Would they help us? Asked Yoshi. I doubt it. They are ashamed for their lack of support of Minato's last wish. It would be more likely if they joined him against us, said Hayashi. And your teammates? If you tell them perhaps they could reason with him, pointed Kyoko. No, they won't help. Kakashi is Minato's student and considers him a second father. Tenzo would follow the chain of command and side with Minato. Zabuza practically owes Minato his status as a respected Konoha nin instead of being a hunted missing nin. Shizune is Kakashi's girlfriend and one of Kushina's best friends, and finally Kushina is completely out of question. No, we are completely alone in this matter, said Hayashi. To-san, said a voice. Hinata, you are back. How are you? He asked. I feel better. Please let me go to talk with the Uzumakis to make amends, she said. For a moment Hayashi thought that sending Hinata to talk could solve the problem, but then he reminded how cruel could be Minato to all those who hurt or disrespected Naruto. Just after his return he killed an ANBU who called Naruto demon, beat a villager who called him monster, caused a heart attack to an old woman who looked at Naruto bad, and then there was the brutal punishment he gave to those who dared to conspire against him and the aftermath with several counselors dead. From Minato's point of view, the Hyugas tried to break Naruto's heart with Hinata being the main instrument. It was very likely that Minato would consider Hinata a traitor of the worst kind and kill her on sight. No, Hinata. We don't know how Minato would react at you. I can't take that risk, said Hayashi. But. I said no, Hinata. This is a problem caused by the older generations. We have no right to send you to deal with our problems. I should have dismissed that stupid plan as soon as it was proposed instead of doing later and emboldened the elders to ignore my orders. Perhaps your generation could make amends with Uzumakis in the future, but now the purpose of the old one is to make sure that your generation survives to see that day, said Hayashi. Everyone nodded at Hayashi's words and prepared themselves for the worse. Later the Hyugas outside the compound were making guard, wearing some communication devices in direct contact with the room where were Hayashi, Hinata, and those Hyugas unable to fight. Nothing to report, I'll keep with my watch, said one of the pair posted on the main entrance. Suddenly they felt a presence at their side and turned their heads. Before them stood Minato Uzumaki Namikaze, no longer wearing the black suit of his Erasure Uzumaki identity, the Black Angel of Konoha, but unmasked, wearing the Konoha Shinobi standard uniform and the characteristic white jacket that made him famous during the war. The guard, a veteran of said war, froze at the vision of the revived hero. He came here as the Yellow Flash, he is not joking, he thought. Good morning Hyuga-san, please step aside so I could pass, said Minato in a neutral tone. I'm sorry, Yondaime-sama, but I can't let you pass, said the guard while his partner and him got on guard. Those in the common room heard some fig-thing noises and then nothing. He got inside. Everyone, to the hall, said a voice. Get out of my way, I came here for something and I won't leave until I get it, said Minato's voice. They heard the voice of some of the strongest Hyugas unleashing their techniques. Hizashi. 8 trigrams 64 palms. Kaiten. I'm the one who co-created that technique, really you think that it would work against me? Too slow, the trigrams only work if you manage to hit your opponent. Rasengan, said Minato's voice. The battle noises didn't last long. Hayashi deducted that the clansman who tried to use the Kaiten ended with half his body buried in the ground. They received more transmissions with shouts and battle sounds and then nothing. Several combatants got into the room, ready to defend the center of the compound while the rest tried to stop Minato without success. Hinata recognized Ko's voice. Yondaime-sama, what do you want from us, said Ko. I came for Hinata and I won't leave without her, said Minato. Hinata-sama? I'm sorry but I can't let you take her, you will have to step over me to get her, said Ko. So be it. Hey, now I realized who you are. You are the Hyuga who worked as Hinata's bodyguard and didn't do anything when those bullies beat Naruto for helping Hinata and then told her to stay away from him. You ungrateful bastard, exclaimed Minato. Until that moment Minato's voice had been calm but hinting the cold fury that was within him, but this was the first time since the plan was revealed that he sounded furious. Those in the room heard a pair of battle noises and bones cracking followed by KO's yields of pain. Niji and Kyoko had to grab Hinata to not let her rush to help Ko. I'm tempted to create some Kage Bunshins who would kick you while you are on the ground just as those bullies did to my son due to your incompetence. But that is not my style and I am in a hurry. I only will tell you that you failed in your duty towards Hinata, said Minato. I only did what I thought was the best for Hinata-sama, said Ko. The same excuse as the villagers, not wanting to associate themselves with the Kyuubi boy. Had you encouraged Hinata to befriend Naruto, they would have turned stronger with each other and this family would have begun to appreciate her better earlier. Really, you think that I don't know the truth? The treatment she got from this family was not better than the one Naruto got from the village. You only began to treat her better after she befriended and got stronger. You, one of the few who seemed to treat her right, delayed said improvement and extended that mistreatment. Now if you excuse me, I have some issues to deal with her, said Minato. The majority of people at the room looked down in shame, especially Hayashi. The way they treated Hinata in the past barely differed how the villagers used to treat Naruto. Perhaps it was even worse because they were her family, not a bunch of strangers. They heard some sobs coming from the device. I am so sorry Hinata-sama. He was right. If I hadn't been so obsessed about the clan's reputation, your life could have turned better earlier, said Ko's voice. They heard more screams and battle sounds until they ceased and the door opened. There stood the Yondaime Hokage completely unharmed. A bruised guard tried to attack him from behind but Minato incapacitated him with an elbow strike. He looked at the stunned Hinata. Finally I found you, Hinata. Now you will come with me. To be continued. Omake, Chapter 124 deleted scene. The Hyuga Command Center was in utter chaos. The Black Angel destroyed the defenses and penetrate into the Kampu front, exclaimed Kyoko. Hayashi Hyuga looked at the screens with his usual pensive pose with his gloved hands criss-crossed. Activate the internal defenses and close all barriers, we can let him penetrate even more, he said while he adjusted his glasses. He destroyed the barriers and the defenses don't work against his field, awesome and terrific field, said Hanabi. He got into the courtyard. Ko in the Evyuga 02 is waiting for him there, said Kyoko. They looked at the screen how Ko armed with oversized chakra guns unleashed a barrage of fire over Minato. 8 trigrams 64 guns. Eat lead, exclaimed Ko. The gunfire didn't work against Minato, who kept walking. Ko charged at him but Minato cut his arm easily. He kept attacking but lost the other arm. Finally Minato cut his head with a ray coming from his mouth. Suddenly, an one-armed Evyuga piloted by a clone of Hayashi's wife, it's a long story, that was holding a bunch of explosive tags forming a bomb charged at Minato and managed to penetrate his field. There was a terrifying explosion but when the smoke dissipated Minato stood there unharmed. Damn it, exclaimed Hayashi, is the Evyuga 01 ready? No, it rejected the dummy seal system, said Kyoko. Sir, your estranged son Shinji Hyuga is here, said Captain Misato Hyuga. Good, he should have realizes that we really need his help. I will play the tough guy before giving him permission to pilot the Evyuga, thought Hayashi. Shinji said that he only came to say you that he won't pilot the Evyuga because you used it to hurt his friend while he only could watch, that he hates you for abandoning him for years and only wanting him to risk his life to fight horrible creatures that only can be stopped with children piloting zombie-like versions of said monsters, prone to get berserk and with a deficient energy system, said Misato. Crap, we are screwed, and the fifth impact happened. The Hyuga clan had a meeting concerning the elders' actions behind Hayashi's back, who ended sealed as punishment. They tried to make amends with the Uzumaki but Minato refused to talk with them. Later Minato himself launched a frontal attack towards the Hyuga compound, moving effortlessly through all their defenses and reached the room where the rest of the clan was staying, among them his target, Hinata. With Naruto, the blonde hero woke up mumbling several curses at the tailed beasts. During his dream, the Jinchurikis and the Bijus found out that the beasts couldn't hurt nor kill the Jinchurikis but could do anything else with their human vessels, so, much to the Jinchuriki's chagrin, the Bijus spend the rest of the dream finding way to humiliate and annoy their prisons by several creative ways, like making target practices with them or using them as toothpicks. The Bijus commented that they couldn't wait to resume the fun the next night. Stupid Bijus, especially Kurama team. When I get strong enough, I will cut off his tails and make a gigantic carpet for my triumphal march the day I become Hokage. No, better. I will use them to make stuffed little foxes and give them to the kids, thought Naruto. Good morning, Naruto-chan, did you have a nice sleep? Said Kushina, smiling at him. Naruto realized immediately that something was amiss. His mother looked more serious than usual. Good morning, Mama, what's going on? I feel that something is bothering you, can you tell what is it? He said. Thanks to his relationship with Hinata-chan, Naruto is turning more perceptive about other people than in the original timeline, thought Kushina. Yes, just yesterday your father found out something terrible concerning Hinata and now he is taking measures to solve it, although it will have some consequences regarding your relationship with her. Naruto got up. Hinata-chan? What's going on with her? Kushina began to tell Naruto what happened since his father headed towards the Hyuga compound in order to tell Hinata that he couldn't to their planned date. At the Hyuga compound, Minato stood there, like an angry god at his followers after they committed a horrible offense against him. Hinata was about to tell Minato to stop when a branch member appeared crawling behind the yondaime. T. The seal. H. He can activate the S seal. He defeated branch members that way. Stay away from him, he babbled before collapsing. Everyone, especially the branch members, looked at Minato horrified. During its conception, the seal was supposed to be used only by main members in order to protect the Byakugan, that later degenerated into a mean for the main house to control the other. It was supposed to be unremovable. The idea of someone outside the clan able to activate it and exterminate the majority of the clan in a moment was so terrifying that they never imagined that it could happen. Saki-san, exclaimed Hinata, who ignored Minato and rushed to tend the fallen Hyuga. Your first impulse was to help your fallen relative, Hinata. It motivates me even more to keep with this, thought Minato. Hayashi got between the yondaime and his daughter. Is it true, Minato? Can you activate the caged bird seal? He asked. Minato nodded. Finding the way for a non-Hyuga to activate the seal is not as hard as it seems at first. The troublesome thing about the seal was to remove it without killing the bearer. The original seal designed by my ancestors didn't have that problem because only the creator could activate it, but in order to make it usable by the main members it had to be modified in a way that anybody related by blood with the maker could activate it with a hand sign. I just needed to draw an identity seal on my hand using some Hyuga blood and then perform the hand sign to activate the seal. If Konoha's enemies hadn't been so focused to get the Byakugan and wanted to destroy it instead, they would have realized how easy it was to destroy most the clan finding the way to activate the seal, said Minato. Nobody dared to say anything, with many of them paralyzed by fear and shock from the revelation. Ironically, many branch members accepted it easier than the main ones because they already accepted that their lives could be easily ended by a hand sign. Hinata got before Minato. Minato-sama, please don't use the seal. I will leave with you if you promise me to not use it against my family, she begged. All right, said Minato after a few seconds. Minato Uzumaki Namikaze, Yondaime Hokage of Konoha, swear by my honor, by my family name and by the god of death to not use the caged bird seal against any member of the Hyuga clan. I also swear to not tell anybody how to activate it against a Hyuga. Come on, Hinata. We will be late, he said, holding his hand towards Hinata. If the clan felt any relief by Minato's oath, it disappeared when they saw their heiress walking towards the yondaime, ready to assume whatever he planned for her. No. I won't allow it. Really, you think that? I would stand here and watch how you take away my daughter. I don't care if she agreed to come with you, Hinata stays here, exclaimed Hayashi, putting himself in a fighting pose between Minato and Hinata. Really, you want to fight me, Hayashi? You know that you don't have any chance against me, and Hinata already agreed to leave with me. Don't make things harder for everyone, said Minato. Hayashi responded with a Juken strike at the liver that Minato dodged by a few millimeters, followed by several ones. Minato responded with a left hook that Hayashi dodged, making it seem that Minato was about to end in a vulnerable position, but he took advantage of the impulse and used it to give Hayashi a spinning kick that the Hyuga blocked easily. The two ninjas began an exchange of blows and dodges, with their respective speeds increasing at each move. Everyone was impressed at the speed and skill displayed by the contenders. They knew that Hayashi was stronger than ever, but never to the point to be able to fight the Yondaime Hokage. Quickly, let's help Hayashi-sama, exclaimed a branch member. No, don't do it, exclaimed Hayashi between strikes, you only would get caught in the crossfire. He will eliminate you in less than a second. My uncle is right, said Niji, he is the only one with enough experience and skill to put up with the Minato-sama's punishment. We have to wait until the proper moment to intervene. The higher-ranking members had to agree with Niji. Hayashi was the only one among them who could restrain Minato until he got tired and give them a slight chance. Hayashi, be reasonable. You know that you cannot win this fight. Let me leave with what I came for. Things will turn better after this, said Minato. Never. I let Kumo take away my brother, and now you want to do the same with my daughter. I won't let history repeat itself again. You are in my range of divination. 8 trigrams 64 palms, exclaimed Hayashi, ready to incapacitate Minato with the famous technique. Only to see how his target disappeared in a yellow flash. So be it, said Minato. The Yondaime disappeared from sight. The only thing that the Hyugas could see was a yellow flash surrounding Hayashi, who seemed to receive hits from all angles. It seemed that he was receiving a coordinated beating from several invisible enemies, but the truth was that whenever he retreated from an attack to a certain direction, Minato was already waiting for him there to hit him and teleport to the spot where Hayashi would be sent by the hit. The Hiraition, exclaimed a veteran of the war. No wonder why Minato-sama had a "flee on sight" warning in the bingo books. With such technique he must see his adversaries like they were moving at slow motion or almost not moving at all. No matter how strong and skilled you are, the yellow flash can give his opponent a critical hit before he began to move. It's almost the same as attacking a sleeping adversary. I never felt so impotent, thought Niji, clenching his fists so hard that they began to bleed. Why Hayashi-sama doesn't use the Kaiten? It would protect him from all angles, exclaimed a young Chunin. It wouldn't work, said another one. Remember those exhibitions matches when the Yondaime pretended to be Erasure Uzumaki? He showed that he can use the Rasengan to nail on the ground an opponent using Kaiten. Our absolute defense is useless against him. Minato continued beating Hayashi and his family only could watch. "Tu-san, please let me go." "You don't have to do this," exclaimed Hinata at the verge of tears while her aunt covered Hanabi's eyes. Minato stopped beating Hayashi and stood before him. "I don't want to keep with this, Hayashi. There is no way you can stop me to leave. Why don't you give up?" said Minato. "I know that there is no way I can defeat you, but it doesn't mean that I have to accept it. I wouldn't be worthy of being Hizashi's brother if I just accepted that fate. You wouldn't do it, and nobody in your own family would do it neither," said Hayashi, standing proudly before Minato. "You are really Hisahi's brother, Hayashi. You don't know how painful it is for me to do this to you, but I must take Hinata away, no matter how much you disagree with it," thought Minato. The Hyuga patriarch was about to step towards Minato, but he fell on one knee. Minato was about to help him when a figure got between them. It was Kyoko. "Please Minato, stop. Hayashi barely can stand up, but he is too stubborn to admit it. If you both keep with this you will end up killing him," said Kyoko while she hugged Hayashi. "Kyoko," whispered Hayashi. "She fell in love with him," realized Minato. "But now that I think about it, it makes sense. Hayashi and Hizashi almost have the same personality and are physically identical. Of course she fell for him. In a spiritual point of view, identical twins are one soul split into two identical bodies. I bet that the reason Kyoko decided to take a semi-retirement was to be away from Hayashi because she feared that she would end falling for him. Minato was surrounded by several Hyugas, Niji among them. Minato-sama, I'm sorry but we can't let you take my cousin, we barely have any chance against you, but as my uncle said, we wouldn't accept it. Please tell Kushina-sensei that I'm very sorry that things ended this way, it was an honor to be her student, said Niji. Minato looked at his wife's student at the eyes. Niji, remember when you told me that you had a life debt with me after I taught you the jutsu named after you, father? I reclaim it, he said. Niji paled, reminding the day when Minato revealed his true identity to him, told him about how was his father's existence in the afterlife with legendary ninjas like the two first Hokages considering him their equal, and the gift that Minato gave him after the revelation. It completely. Niji's point of view of life, making him thank Minato profusely and claiming that he had a life debt with the yondaime that he could claim whenever he wanted. Hey, are you going to make me fight my family? Asked Niji. Minato negated it with his head. No, I just want you to reveal your secret, then you can do whatever you want, responded Minato. Niji, why do you have a life debt with him and what is that secret? Asked one of the jonins. Niji didn't say anything. He just removed his forehead protector, revealing the caged bird seal on his forehead, and then, to everybody's shock, he began to remove it with a piece of cloth, like it was a mere drawing and not the seal. What the? Impossible. The seal is gone. But it was supposed to be unremovable. Niji began to talk. Minato-sama removed the seal when I met him. He said that he wouldn't let his friend's son to live with something that could kill him with a mere hand sign. He also recommended me to make a drawing on my forehead in order to hide that I no longer bore the seal, said Niji. Everyone now looked at Minato. The secret to remove the seal without killing the bearer is to make a second seal that surrounds the original and fuses with it, creating a different seal in the process. Unlike the original one, this new seal can be removed by anybody skilled enough in Fuin Jutsu. I would have wanted to wait for a more appropriate moment to make this revelation, but the current circumstances anticipated the events, said Minato. He sent a look to all those Hyugas, who had their foreheads covered. I have an offer for all branch members, help me to take Hinata away and I will remove your seals. You wouldn't have to be the main house's servants anymore. You could start your own clan or become equals with the main members, that will your decision because you will have freedom to do it. Don't worry for the main members using the seal on you, I will stop them before they could move. My futon clones placed my Hiratian seals around the room, he said. The Hyugas noticed several identical seals placed everywhere that the veterans recognized from the war, confirming Minato's claim. He could prevent all main members from activating the seal even if all of them tried to activate it at the same time. At that moment the main members realized something. They were at the complete mercy of someone who could kill them instantly using seals. A wrong movement, an inappropriate word, and the yondaime would finish them. Is this what the branch members have to feel all time? What have we done? So this is the reason my sister is so distant. Accept it, exclaimed Hinata. The branch members looked at her. Please, help Minato-sama, this way he will free you from that burden. Let me go with him, I will be happy if you gain your freedom, she pleaded. The branch members looked at Hinata and then they shared some looks among themselves. One of them got between Minato and Hinata and got on guard. He was Yoshi, the man whose wife and baby were saved by Hinata risking her life. Then another one did the same, and another one, and one more. The procession continued until all branch members were between Minato and Hinata. Are you aware of what you are doing? Asked Minato. Yes, we are, said an old man. I don't deny that I would be happy to be free from the seal, but I wouldn't be able to live with myself if it was at the expense of Hinata-sama. Hinata-sama was willing to die in order to save my wife and my child. I wouldn't be able to look at them in the eyes if I sold the person they owe their life, said Yoshi. Our era sees us as family, as persons, not as servants nor bodyguards. We wouldn't mind to be in a clan ruled by her because the seal wouldn't be a threat with her in charge. She justifies the existence of the branch family because she is worthy of our protection, said a jonin. All main members were touched by the branch family. Hinata was completely speechless. They are willing to renounce their freedom for me, thought Hinata at the verge of tears. That's the way to talk, brother, said a jonin from the main family who looked identical to the one who talked. I neither would let him take Hinata-sama away. She is the future of our clan. He joined the branch members in the protection of Hinata. Then another main member joined them, and what happened with the branch family happened again with the main one. The whole Hyuga clan, ninjas and civilians, old and young, female and male, main and branch, all them stood between Minato and Hinata, ready to protect their heiress. Hinata's face was covered by tears. She never felt so loved by her own family. Hayashi a hand on her shoulder. He looked at her with a warm smile while he wiped out her tears. Thank you Hinata, you made it. I never felt so proud of you, he whispered. What did I do, to-san, she asked. Don't you see it, my daughter? With your kind nature and your willingness to sacrifice yourself for branch family, you finished the feud between the Hyuga houses. Everybody is willing to for you. You unified the clan, Hinata, he said. She looked at her family in shock. It's true. They are together. My dream has come true. Minato now was confused. These are not the reactions I expected when I came here. And I wrong, and it turns out that my presence is not necessary here, he thought. He felt really uneasy. It was not the numeric superiority. He was used to defeat complete armies, but this time his adversaries included people too old to stand and small children. One of them, Hanabi, spoke. Leave Hinata-ne-chan alone, she didn't do anything to you. Why do you want to hurt her, she asked. What? Asked Minato. I asked you why do you want to hurt my sister, responded Hanabi. I never said that I wanted to hurt Hinata. I would never do that. She is one of my most precious persons. I came here to rescue her from the elders' clutches, said Minato. The elders? I already took care of them yesterday, exclaimed Hayashi. So it was not necessary for me to come here? You already solved the problem, asked Minato. Yes, I did. It was written on that letter that you refused to read. Who do you think I am? I'm the Hyuga clan head, not one of those figureheads without any real power that appear in bad stories. Really, you thought that I couldn't keep order in my own home, said a very angry Hayashi. Minato began to laugh. Ha. I can't believe that I caused that ruckus and beat you for nothing. Kushina won't believe it, he exclaimed. Stop laughing, you stupid blonde. You hurt my family and me. This is not funny at all, exclaimed Hayashi. He. Sorry Hayashi, I will compensate you for this, said Minato. The rest of the clan looked dumbfounded at Minato and Hayashi, talking as old friends as if nothing had happened. Hayashi looked at Minato with a very serious face. Never mind about that compensation. One of the beaten guards got into the room. Hayashi-sama, the Hokage is here, said while he collapsed. Sensei? Asked Minato. Jiraiya got into the room accompanied by some of his ninjas, 2 ANBU guards and Naruto and Kushina. Everyone stop whatever you are doing, exclaimed the Godame. Hokage-sama, it is not necessary for you to come here, said Hayashi. Silence, exclaimed Jiraiya. I came here because I found out that some members of your clan violated the decree I made months ago about clans not interfering in the love life of people from other clans, just what they did when they ordered Hinata to break her relationship with Naruto. What decree? Asked Hayashi. Decree 157B, included in the package of measures taken about the renovation of Konoha's sewer system. Didn't you read it? That's your problem. The ignorance of a law doesn't exempt its compliance. said Jiraiya while he handed a copy of the documents. Hayashi read them. It's completely legal. What motivated you to make such law, Hokage-sama? Asked Hayashi. It's an idea that Naruto and I had when he came to me months ago looking for advice, telling me that Hinata told him that the Hyuga clan had a plan concerning them, said Jiraiya. Everyone looked at Naruto and Hinata, especially at her. I felt that I had to tell him. I didn't want to fund our relationship with such secret, said Hinata. Yeah, there are no secrets between Hinata-chan and me, we tell everything to each other, said Naruto with a proud face. Minato and Kushina interchanged some looks. Everything? Does it mean that he also told her about the secret property of our blood? Thought Minato. Now comes the second part of the counter plan, said Naruto while he headed towards Hinata. Wait. Naruto, there is no need to, said Hayashi, but Jiraiya interfered. Are you going to break my law before me? Asked Jiraiya in an intimidating tone. Naruto planted one knee before Hinata and took out a small box. Don't tell me that he is going to do that, thought Minato, speechless. Hinata-chan, you were there in one of the hardest moments of my life and I could overcome it easily thanks to you. You were also there in some of my happier ones. During that time I didn't notice how the friendship that we had turned into love. The day you agreed to become my girlfriend was one of my happiest ones, only compared when I got my parents back. When I imagine myself in a few years I am wearing the Hokage's hat and at my side there is a beautiful woman with lavender eyes and long indigo hair, that woman is you, Hinata. I'm not asking you to marry me right now nor in a few months. I think that we should wait some years before it happens, but you would make the happiest person in the world if you agreed with this, said Naruto while he opened the box. It had a gold ring that included a green stone that they recognized as a fragment from the Shodai's necklace. Hyuga Hinata, would you like to be my fiancé? It was too much for the poor girl. On the same day she saw how her family seemed to be threatened by an invincible enemy, how her father was beaten while protecting and how her family finally was unified due to her, and now Naruto asking that. She collapsed on Naruto's arms but not before giving an answer. Why yes, she whispered. What? What do you mean that there was no need for me to ask for Hinata's hand? Asked Naruto. Hinata woke up with her head on Kyoko's lap at the sound of Naruto's words. She briefly opened her eyes to see the ring engraved with a piece of the Shodai's necklace on her finger. It's true, she thought. Naruto wanted to make me her fiancé so he could use the new law to protect me from my clan's schemes, but he was not aware that Sen already had everything solved. At the moment he made the proposition I should have told him that it was not necessary, but when I got caught in the moment and let my feelings to speak. No Naruto, I put the elders in their place. There was no need for you to ask for Hinata's hand in order to save her, said Hayashi. Naruto looked really shocked while Jiraiya was laughing openly at his student's situation. At least you came up with a better solution and tried to fix everything with a legal and not violent way, unlike another person present here, commented Hayashi while glaring at Minato. By the way Minato, how did you expect to get away taking Hinata away? From an external point of view your actions would have been seen as kidnapping of a clan heir. If the Hyuga clan was under the elder's thumb as you thought, they could have denounced you to Hokage-sama and he wouldn't have had any choice but to side with them. Oh, that's easy, Kushi-chan and I had a plan, said Minato. I would take care of the first part that was rescuing Hinata while Kushi-chan would take care of the second part that consisted of. Oh crap. I have to tell about the change of plans to my original self, exclaimed Kushina, disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Was she a Kage Bunshin? What were these two planning? Thought Jiraiya. Moments later Kushina appeared, dressed in a very elegant Western-styled dress that exposed her shoulders and a good chunk of cleavage noticeable behind the transparent wrap she had over it. What? At the end it happens that all my work was for nothing, she said. Before anyone could ask her why she was dressed like that or what she was, Hinata decided to make everyone aware that she was awake. Without saying any word she got at Naruto's side and took off the ring. I'm sorry Naruto, I just said yes although it was not necessary and got you compromised for life. you were going to do in order to protect me, and although that you know now that it is not necessary, you would keep with it because you go back on your word. I don't want you to marry me because you feel compelled to do it, for that reason I free you of our engagement. Please take the ring back," said Hinata while she handed the ring to him. Naruto looked at Hinata with a smile and placed the ring on Hinata's finger again. "Hinata-chan, I don't mind if we are not engaged, but the ring is a gift and I want you keep it," he said. But it has a piece of your necklace's stone. You could buy a whole mountain with it, most Konoha's clans wouldn't be able to afford it. The ring is too valuable to give it to your girlfriend without any compromise, said Hinata while she tried to take it. Naruto grabbed her hands and moved his head in a negative way. "I know that the ring is worth a lot of money, but I don't see it as valuable for that. I value it because the power it contains. Remember when I was overwhelmed by the Kyuubi's power at Snow Country and your presence made me regain my senses? The power of the stone protected you from the Kyuubi's chakra. For that reason I find the ring so valuable, for that reason I want you to keep it because it would protect you at my worst moment. Although I swore to never lose control again, I would be more relaxed if I knew that the stone will be in the ring protecting you," said Naruto. Naruto's words were followed by a series of ahs, oos, and similar expressions. Minato felt how delighted Kushina felt through their link. Jiraiya made mental notes of Naruto's words to include them in one of his future books. Are you sure? And Naruto? I can't keep it without any kind compromise. It wouldn't be fair for your family to lose such treasure if I don't give you in return something of similar value, said Hinata. Then don't free me of our engagement. I didn't lie when I said that I couldn't imagine myself in the future with anyone else, and your response when I asked you makes me think that you feel the same. We can always break the compromise if our feelings change, but I prefer if we keep it like that. What do you say, Hinata-chan? Asked Naruto. Hinata's response was a passionate kiss on his lips that almost caused Hayashi a heart attack and other Hyugas to look at other way while Jiraiya and Kushina cheered for her. Yes, I want to be engaged to you. I just ask you that we should wait some years to get married, when we are in our 20s, she said. Agree with it, we are too young for the married life. The promise of what we will be to each other is enough for me, said Naruto. Minato and Kushina hugged the couple and congratulated them. You don't know how happy you made me now that I know that Naruto will end with a girl like you, Hinata-chan, said Minato smiling at Hinata. Thank you, Minato-sama, your words make me feel very honored, responded Hinata. How many times I have to remind you to not refer to us with honorifics, said Kushina. As Naruto's girlfriend you are within your rights to call us Tu-san and Ka-san, especially now that you are engaged, and the only thing that doesn't make you a married couple is a mere ceremony, something that we could fix easily. Kushina, said Minato. I was just kidding, responded her. More people congratulated them with the exception of Hayashi, who still seemed shocked at the knowledge that his daughter was now engaged. Naruto headed to him. I'm sorry for asking Hinata's hand without your permission. Don't bother to ask for my forgiveness, there is no need for it when your actions had the purpose to save my daughter. Your actions and words prove that you are a good and honorable young man, and you will make a fine husband for Hinata and a good father for my grandchildren. You have my approval to marry her. Just remember to accomplish your promise to become Hokage. I don't want Hinata's reputation being tarnished because she is married to a liar, said Hayashi in a neutral tone. Naruto sweat dropped at his words. At least I got his approval, he thought. Jiraiya put his hands on Naruto and Hinata's shoulders and looked at them with a mischievous smile. Congratulations, you two, you are very lucky to find true love at such a young age. Now I suppose that you are going to follow the recommendation that comes with the new law? He asked. What recommendation are you talking about? It is just an idea I had in order to improve the bonds among Konoha's clans. It would apply to persons from different clans are engaged. For each month one of them would live in the other's home for a week, and the following week the other would do the same. This way the couple's relationship would strengthen the relationship between the two clans instead of one the clans gaining a new member and the other losing 1 inch, said Jiraiya. That would mean. That Naruto and me would live at the same house during half of each month, thought Hinata with a blush. That's a fantastic idea. We agree with it and we will follow that recommendation, exclaimed Kushina. Isn't it great, Hinata-chan? You will part of our family for a week each month and Naruto will be part of yours during the next one, she said while she hugged the blushing girl. The only drawback would be that Naruto wouldn't be with us for some days each month, she thought. But it also means that we would the house to ourselves, pointed Minato with a mischievous smile. Hayashi was not as enthusiastic with the idea of Hinata living at the same house as Naruto half the time, especially when she would be living at the Uzumaki's residence, but understood the advantages of Jiraiya's idea and agreed with it. Then he realized something. Wait a minute, if Hinata will end marrying Naruto, which clan will she belong to? He asked. Well, Naruto is the only one who can inherit the position of the Uzumaki clan head because he is an only child, so it makes sense that she joining that clan, said Jiraiya. But she is the heiress of the Hyuga clan, pointed Hayashi. And a very good one, but you can appoint someone else for that position, we don't have that luxury. Niji would be an excellent heir, said Minato. Niji as clan heir? Asked Hayashi in disbelief. Why not? It would be a great way to end any animosity left between the two branches of the Hyuga clan. The branch house would accept him with open arms and everyone on the main house respects him due to his talent. While Hinata proved to be very competent, a genius like Niji would represent the Hyuga clan better than anyone else, said Minato. Niji felt touched to see the steam that Minato had on him, but what really surprised him was that Hayashi was really pondering Minato's proposal. I agree with it, Niji Nissen would be a better heir than me. I want to be heiress in order to unify the two houses. If making Niji Nissen heir consolidates it, I gladly renounce to all my rights and transfer them to him, said Hinata. Hinata, thought Niji. The problem is that the heir should be direct descendant of the clan head, commented Hayashi. Well, Niji is the son of your twin brother, your identical twin brother. A blood test would tell that you are father and son. If we see from that point of view, we actually would be giving the heir position to your eldest son, as tradition says, said Minato. Is that true? Niji Nissen is also Two-san's son. Is he really our brother? Asked Hanabi, who has been listening to the conversations. She received several nods as response. Yes, Niji Nissen would be our half-brother from different mother, but because both our mothers were sisters he would be actually our three-quarters brother, pointed Hinata. I'm very aware that Niji would be my son from a genetic point of view the same way Hinata and Hanabi would be Hisashi's daughters, but in order to make him my heir I should adopt him, said Hayashi. So? Asked Kushina, a bit annoyed by so many dissertations. Niji already has a parent. I can't ask Kyoko to renounce her son to make him mine, it wouldn't be fair, said Hayashi. Why don't you marry Kyoko Bazan? That way Niji Nissen would be your son, pointed Hanabi. Everyone looked at the girl. That's a great idea, Hanabi-chan. This way the differences between the two houses will be even less, exclaimed Kushina. What? Babbled Hayashi. Yes, it would be a great way to cement the clan's unification having a new Lady Hyuga who used to be part of the branch house, commented Minato. But, said Hayashi. Then it is decided, said Jiraiya, Hayashi marrying Kyoko is the best way to make Niji the new heir and to accelerate the clan's unification. When is the wedding? Said Jiraiya. Poor Niji seemed to have a mental shutdown. His mother's expression was unreadable and Hayashi was trying to process the new info. What are you talking about? Kyoko is my brother's wife. I can't marry her, he exclaimed. Wrong, she is his widow, they are no longer married, remember the marital vow. Until death do us part, you two can marry each other without any problem, said Minato. And what do you expect me to say to my brother-wife when I meet them again in the afterlife if I marry Kyoko? Asked Hayashi. Things are different in the afterlife, it is a place of perpetual bliss without hate nor envy, and polygamy for both sexes is common and accepted. I guarantee that your brother and wife wouldn't mind if you marry Kyoko, said Minato. Something clicked on Jiraiya's mind. They are a couple on the afterlife, don't they? Said Jiraiya. Minato's response or the lack of it was enough to have everyone freaking out. My father and my aunt, babbled Niji. Kaa-san and Hizashi-ji-san, thought Hinata. Curiously, Hayashi took the notice really well. While he was shocked and annoyed about the last revelation, a part of him was relieved to know that his relationship with Kyoko would be approved by his brother and former wife, and the fact that they make happy each other in the afterlife. When they finally meet, it would be a memorable event. He came to a decision. Okay, I will do it. It's the best for everyone, he said. Good, we could. Excuse, but nobody asked me what was my opinion about all this. It also involves me. You have been making plans like I didn't have any choice. It is like that me as the branch member involved have no say about the matter, said a very angry Kyoko with her arms on jars. They looked at her a bit ashamed and apologized. Sorry Kyoko-chan, we just assumed that you would agree and the problem would be to convince Hayashi, said Kushina. There is more people involved in this too. We should ask our children what do they think about a convenience marriage between us, pointed Kyoko. She looked at Niji. What do you think, my son? Would you mind if I marry your uncle, making him your stepfather, so it helped to heal the breach between the two branches and make you the new heir? She asked. The choice is yours, Kaa-san. I don't mind you marrying Hayashi-sama if he makes you happy. He treated me almost as a son, but the resentment I used to have for the main branch didn't let me appreciate it. I would like to him as stepfather. He is part of Two-san after all, said Niji. Kyoko then focused her attention on Hinata and Hanabi. What do you think? Would you accept me to be your father's wife and your stepmother? She asked. Hinata was the first one to speak. I would be very honored if you become my stepmother, Kyoko-bazan. And I think that you would be a great Lady Hyuga, said a smiling Hinata. Then came Hanabi's turn. The little girl looked at the woman who looked like an adult version of herself, blushing and twitching her fingers. Kyoko-bazan. If you marry Two-san. Could I call you mom? She asked. Kyoko smiled and took Hanabi on her arms. Only if you let me call you daughter, Hanabi-chan, she said. Then I have no problem if you marry Two-san, responded Hanabi while she embraced Kyoko. Everybody smiled at the scene, especially Hayashi. Now he didn't have any doubts that he was making the right decision. He looked at Kyoko's eyes. Although it looks like it is already decided, I think that it would be better if I ask you the traditional question. Kyoko Hyuga, will you marry me? He asked. Yes, I will, said Kyoko. She gave him a chaste kiss on the lips. Hinata blushed and looked at other way. Hanabi looked at them with curiosity and Niji almost had a heart attack. After receiving congratulations from the Uzumakis and the Hokage, a question emerged. When should we marry? Asked Hayashi. Why not now? We have everything ready in our yard, asked Minato. What are you talking about? Asked Kyoko. Well, it is related to the plan that Minato and me initially had in order to save Hinata-chan, said Kushina. Does it explain why you are dressed like that? Asked Kyoko. Yes, responded Kushina. They headed towards the yard at the Uzumaki's home. There they found a big red carpet, several seats at the sides of the carpet and an altar at the other side. There were also several tables with seats, demi-clones bringing food and drinks and big sign that said, "Congratulations Naruto and Hinata." Everybody looked at Minato and Kushina with their mouths completely open. Minato spoke. You see. We knew that I couldn't just take Hinata away without any repercussions. The Hyuga clan could have told the Hokage or the Fire Lord that we just kidnapped Hinata and they would have been forced to order us to give her back, so the only way to keep her safe was to make her an Uzumaki. This is what Kushina has been doing while I assaulted the Hyuga compound, he said. Why you were going to make Hinata-chan marry me, babbled Naruto. It was the best idea we had, we were not aware that Jiraiya and you already had a similar one. Really, don't you want to marry right now? We could make it a double wedding, teased Kushina. Hinata almost fainted and had to grab Naruto to keep the balance. Don't tell those things. Hinata-chan and I already decided to wait some years until we marry, he said. Kushina just smiled at them. I know, it is just that you look too cute in these situations. Besides, we would need 2 wedding dresses and… Oh. What's going on, Mom? Asked Naruto. The wedding dress. I asked for it with Hinata's measurements. Quickly, Kyoko, come with me, we must head to the tailor and tell him to redesign the dress for yourself, exclaimed Kushina while she dragged Kyoko away. I will tell the news to the rest of the clan and prepare myself for the wedding, said Niji. Where is the rest of the clan? They were with us when Naruto asked for my hand at first, but they were gone when I recovered from my fainting, commented Hinata. They are with some of Dad's clones. He is removing the seals from everyone except the elders who will keep them for 2 years due to their punishment, said Naruto. Are really? Really, they are going to be free? It's wonderful. We are going to be a whole family again, exclaimed Hinata. And it will be thanks to you, my daughter. It was your willingness to sacrifice yourself for the clan and your kindness what unified both branches. You should go back to the compound too. You need to prepare yourself for the wedding, your new mother will need a bridesmaid, said Hayashi. Hinata nodded and after giving Naruto a quick kiss on the cheek she left with Hanabi towards the compound. What should we do, Dad? Asked Naruto. We will have to prepare things for the guests. Your mother sent several clones with invitations for the wedding that you were going to have with Hinata. We would have to tell them about the change of plans, said Minato. Who is going to come? Asked Naruto. We invited all your friends, their families, the senseis of the Konoha 15, Irika, Anko and the rest of clan heads, responded Minato. That's a lot of people. You told me that weddings among ninjas were private acts with only a few guests who acted as witnesses, a tradition from the times when ninjas didn't live at villages and traditional weddings were a risk because the enemy ninjas could take advantage of the meeting to make an attack, said Naruto. Minato nodded. Yes, my wedding with your mother was one of those. It is the main reason our marriage was not public knowledge, but your case with Hinata was different and we wanted as much witnesses as we could, said Minato. Later, as Minato said, the guests began to arrive. The first ones were the Aburames, followed by the Akamichis, the Naras, the Yamanakas, the Inazukas, the Karamas and the Harunos. Then came Sasuke and the Sandaime accompanied by Konohamaru, Rock Lee and Guy, Haku with Zabuza, Gaara and his siblings Sai and the senseis, Tsunade, Hayate with Yugao, Kakashi with Shizune, Kakashi appeared on time, Asuma and Kurenai and Nebisu. The last ones to arrive were Moegi and Udon accompanied by their grandparents Koharu and Hamura. Naruto found himself surrounded by his friends, hungry for responses. He had to explain himself as best as he could. It took him several minutes. So at the end you won't marry Hinata right now, but you are now engaged. You will live at the same house half the time and the ones who will marry are Hinata and Niji's parents as part of the unification of their clan and making Niji the new clan heir in the process. Am I clear? Asked Shino. Yes, that's it. Very surprising, isn't it? Said Naruto. Everything is surprising when your family is involved, pointed Shikamaru. What are you talking about? That's not the important news. Naruto's father is the Yondaime. The Yondaime who came back from the dead. Why nobody told us about it? Asked Ino. My father wants to keep his identity in secret for the majority of the world, but he is planning to reveal it to everybody soon, said Naruto. That means that we can't tell about it to anybody? Asked Yakumo. Yes, that's it. I'm sorry, but it is a S-class secret. You can't tell anybody without my father's approval, said Naruto. That's not fair. This is the best piece of gossip ever and we can't tell anybody, pouted Ino. You can always comment it with all those present here, including your mothers, pointed Temari, annoyed at Ino's antics. Our father was also Yondaime and it is not something to brag about. Naruto, I want to congratulate you for your engagement with Hinata. I hope that you will be very happy with each other, said Gaara. Thank you, Gaara, said Naruto. Each one of his friends also congratulated him. Meanwhile, Chuza, Shikaku and Inoichi were being scolded by their wives for not telling them that Erasure Uzumaki was actually the revived Yondaime Hokage, not caring if it was a secret. At least they managed to convince them to not tell anybody. Erasure being actually Minato had several reactions from those who didn't know the truth. Sai seemed as imperturbable as always but was divided between telling Danzo about Minato and keeping the secret. At the end he chose to not tell the old hawk. If Danzo later asked why Sai didn't tell, he would excuse himself, telling that he assumed that Danzo already knew the truth. Kiba found himself jealous of Naruto, but it was more for the fact that Naruto's father was still living with him than for Naruto's father being the Yondaime, but he was happy to see that his previously orphaned friend was having his dreams coming true. Curiously, he lost part of the jealousy he previously had for Naruto's strength now that he knew that Naruto had to be strong due to being the son of a Hokage. For Sakura it was a shock to find out that the boy who used to annoy her during the academy was actually the son of one of Konoha's greatest heroes and former ruler of the village. If she agreed to go out with him, there would be a good chance that she would be the one engaged to him, but she didn't regret it. Hinata loved Naruto more than she would have done, and Sakura loved Sasuke after all. Talking about Sasuke, he had some trouble taking the news that Naruto's father was the Yondaime. After the Uchiha massacre, one of the few consolation he had was that he was not alone in his pain with the knowledge of other boy who also lost everything, Naruto. But then his father appeared back, revealed himself to be at Itachi's level or even stronger, then thanks to the training he gave Naruto, the former Dobe caught up with him and surpassed him. And then Naruto also got his mother back, gaining back the family he lost. The revelation that Erasure was actually the Yondaime was the icing on the cake. Sasuke came to a resolution: he wouldn't let Naruto left him behind, he also would get the lost happiness. If he couldn't get his family back, at least he would make a new one. Meanwhile, the older guests were talking among themselves, taking the seat on the left side, leaving the ones at the right for the Hyugas. You know, commented Shikaku, when we were told that Naruto and Hinata wouldn't get married and that someone else would marry, I thought that the ones marrying were Minato and Kushina, not Hayashi and Kyoko. Why you thought that Minato and Kushina would marry? They are already married, said Inoichi. Are you sure? Asked Shikaku. Remember what it is said on the marriage ceremony: until death do us part. Minato died sealing the Kyubi. That means that his marriage with Kushina has been over for more than a decade.
That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.